You staying home tonight?
I hadn't planned on it, no.
Plan on it.
Does it look okay?
Yeah.
Does it look great?
Fantastic, yeah.
It looks like there's a lot of room above our head, though.
That's headroom.
We're just
That's what
very,
that's called.
we're
Well,
very
there's some of
tiny
that.
people.
Okay.
I think it was good.
All right.
Fix
Hi.
it in post.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Post. Hi.
Welcome to the show with Edmund Mitchell.
With
The
Allie
show with
Hoffman.
Edmund Mitchell.
Yeah.
Now, look, we do need to be pretty careful because when you listen to a podcast with 4 people on it, if they're all talking at the same time,
Okay,
it gets
it's annoying.
When I listened back to the podcast with me, you, and your dad,
Oh, yeah.
it was a little. There was a few times where all of us
For
were
sure.
saying our joke at the exact same time.
And we are all laughing. Okay.
So, welcome everyone. Maybe everyone give a quick intro on yourself, and then we'll just jump right into this jam-packed episode. Or don't. Okay. Up next. Yeah, start on the far
Go
left.
for it.
I'm Nick Gutierrez. I'm a youth minister in Arlington, and my hobbies are woodworking, lawn mowing, and YouTube.
Being creative.
Nice.
Can I just say
Ooh.
ditto? My name is Johnny Philp, youth minister at Good Shepherd Catholic Community in Colleyville.
Oh, I'm a drummer too. I'm in a country band.
I was just about to say all of those things.
Yeah, Nick's in a
Literally
country
you.
band.
A country band.
Wait,
guys.
really?
Follow Nick on Instagram.
Yeah.
He's in a country band.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
No.
The Justin Mason band.
That's right.
Yep.
Not actually. I don't know if things are official. Actually,
This
you know
is
that
live.
they put me in the official group text. So
Okay.
I think
That's
I think
official.
Things are
Pretty
trending.
You're on the
Serious.
starting
A little bit.
line.
And
Yeah.
I immediately, actually, can I tell you what I what I texted them? The very first thing I texted this
Yes.
group,
Yes.
it was, hold on,
I love you, man.
hold on. Yeah, I love every
So
single one of you.
excited to be in
Thank you,
there.
thank you. No, it was.
Picture of a cat.
No. Where is it? Guys.
Johnny, maybe you should introduce yourself
Yeah,
on
introduce
Nick's
yourself.
finding it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh,
Sweet. I said hi, guys. Or actually, Justin was like, "Hey, we got the drummer. Welcome. Everybody, say hi." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Hi, guys." Some say I'm a mix between Phil Collins, Neil Peart, and the drummer from that movie, That Thing You Do.
No one says that.
My snare is as powerful as a waterfall. My kick will bite your face off, and my drumsticks are solid ivory. But this was like I obtained them before it was illegal, to do that.
yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
So excited to be in this jazz band. Always wanted, always wanted to play elevator music. And then I put a little gif.
Nick,
of
nobody
this
liked
guy.
your message.
No one liked that's
Hey
hilarious.
man, they're all just
Yeah,
they're,
yeah.
They're not
testing you
our
out.
age.
They're not as
our
trendy.
age.
They're not your age.
I'm in a country band now.
That's amazing.
I actually practiced
Wow.
today. I'm
That's
really out
great,
of
man.
shape.
Yeah.
That's really great.
I received that.
Okay,
text
Johnny,
message.
more about you.
My name is Johnny. I am a youth minister,
Singer,
Yeah.
That's what I
songwriter,
said.
musician, speaker, professional tennis, table tennis player.
Table
singer,
tennis.
songwriter.
Have you guys seen my bio on Instagram?
Yeah, we
You
have.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just asking. Anyways, that's it.
And fried chicken enthusiast.
Fried chicken. Yeah, it's really more like, what's the step above enthusiast? That's me.
Really, really
Obsession.
like
Obsessed.
chicken.
Obsessed.
Oh, step
Obsessed.
above?
Yeah.
Yeah, obsessed.
I have a problem. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, serious problem.
Like
with
you
fried
need
chicken.
intervention.
Allie, you should go.
Hi.
It's your
So
turn.
my name is Allie Hoffman. I'm
You've never-
also
You've
a
been
youth
on the show.
minister.
You've been on the show before.
I have been on the show before. I'm still a youth minister
Mhm.
at St. Catherine de Siena
I'm
in
still-
Carrollton, Texas.
I'm
Still there.
Still a youth
rocking it.
minister.
And I also doodle at the Oodles of Doodles. I'm an aspiring just enthusiast of
red hats.
red hats and woodworking
Just
and drummers.
all kinds of red
and
hats, just
fried
red
chicken
hats
You're a
as
big
well.
enthusiast of enthusiasts.
Yeah, I just really support. I
Enthusiasts.
enthuse the
Yeah,
enthusiasts.
that's great.
Mhm.
Well, we were talking recently about one thing that links us all together,
Jesus.
besides
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh.
We've been talking about this whole. I kind of hate this term, but it's also the only term I can think of is creative, quote unquote.
Mhm.
But we all are people that maybe it's just we're all just millennials, but we all really like making stuff, and we're thinking about or dabbling with or are already extremely popular and successful with creating stuff online and or just making stuff in general, like you two with the woodworking and the Instagrams and the being in country bands and stuff. And we've been talking a lot about supporting each other in that adventure of making stuff for people. and going that route.
Mm,
So maybe you guys can elaborate a little on. In the last podcast, Danielle and I talked a lot about the Catholic Creative Summit and how that really impacted me and made me kind of like unashamed to say, this is something I like doing. I like doing this, and I don't really care. I don't care who knows it. This is me, and I'm proud.
Yeah.
So what? I don't know. What about you guys? Like, where are you guys in the? Some of you are farther along, super popular than all of us. And some,
The country bands.
I'm like
It's the country bands.
But no, I don't know. You guys like let's talk a little bit about this whole like Catholic creative thing, which is it's just weird. It feels weird even coming out of my mouth, but I think this is something that's really happening. I mean, at the summit, I realized like there are a lot of people doing this, like independent freelance types, making stuff, selling stuff, making stuff for an audience who's interested in like buying those things or supporting that kind of stuff. What's been you guys' take on that? Or your own personal journey. Crickets. Okay,
Well,
here we go.
so you guys are all. I was also at the Catholic Creative Summit, and it was very inspiring. I think if you ask any young child, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, like,
Yeah.
classic question, and it's a lot. I remember when I was growing up, it was always very like
Hand letters.
lawyer, doctor, or
Hand letter.
or opposite,
Yeah.
like architect,
Yeah. Yeah.
astronaut, not
Yeah.
an astronomer. Maybe little kids want to be an astronomer.
Astronomer.
Astronomical
Yep.
mathematician.
Yeah.
Words. But you never hear I
Hand
never
letterer.
did, like a hand or like a designer,
Yeah.
or I always grew up thinking like
It's a very
that's not a
2018
thing. Oh yeah.
thing. Like there are
Right.
young kids right now that want to be an Instagram influencer just because the whole life of people sending you free stuff and paying you
Oh, well.
to just put pictures online. Like it's
Sure.
it's becoming a thing. Like it's going to be a thing in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, being a YouTuber.
Yeah, like it's
Oh,
it's
sure.
a
Yeah, yeah.
career. It's a
Wants
straight
to
up
be-
career.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, they believe it's attainable, like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They,
Like-
as a sixth grader,
Like
can do
there are parents that are already like trying to cultivate a brand around their children because they feel like, well, my child's really good at singing or art or what, and they're already trying to cultivate like a YouTube channel or a following around their
Right.
children. So it's becoming more and more of a thing, which makes it that much harder to talk about because it feels cliche or it feels lame, right? To be like, all right, dang it, I want to be a Catholic creative.
Well, that's,
You know?
I mean, when you talk about that, though, when you say that, it sounds like people are aspiring to be known, like aspiring for the blue check mark, you know, verified, or like, I want to be famous or whatever. And I think if we ask any one of us here, like, why we do what we do is not because we want 1 million followers. We
Yeah.
just love doing what we do.
Yeah.
And I would question anybody, oh, you want to be a creative in any sense. Why do you want to do that? Oh, I want to gain, you know, a lot of followers and have a lot of influence. I'm like, and you're, why? Like, what's the point of that?
And it's such a tough dynamic because if you do something for the next 10 years and you never go from 1 follower to 2 followers,
Sure.
it's really hard. I mean, that's part
To
of
make
the
a living or
process.
something?
Well,
Sure.
yeah, it's part of the process is like you do have to look at the audience and say, do they even value what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
While at the same time not caring about the numbers or how big the numbers are.
Mm.
It's a very strange dynamic there.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, what about you?
I too was at the Catholic Creative Summit, as were each of you. Because
What was
we
your
were
take?
all there together.
Yeah, what was your take when you were live on the floor there at the Catholic Creative Summit?
How'd
How'd you feel
say
about
this? This just a little disclaimer. I did have a sick wife and a sick baby
Yeah.
that whole
Being a
weekend.
good
so
husband.
Like she was sick.
my time, she was sick as the streets.
Yeah.
It was
As they would say,
as
on the streets.
The young
Sick
youth
as
are
the
saying,
streets,
as
yeah.
the youths are
The
saying.
youths.
Anyways, my time there was more limited than I was hoping. The biggest thing I took away from that though was, and I think this was really just like something that I kind of needed to work through. But like the big thing for me, the past year or so, is I've just been feeling kind of like the anointing to pursue like the speaking avenue of ministry, and I know
Yeah.
like you guys have that too.
Which a lot of times you're not allowed to say.
right,
You're not allowed
There's
to say
this-
like
Sure.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
there's this stigma
Mhm.
behind like I want to be a Catholic speaker. Everybody's like, well, okay, then just just sit around, and if it happens, it'll happen.
Mhm.
And I think there's like a lot of truth to that. Like it needs to be like like spirit led and like
Mhm.
a serious discernment you know, but I think there's something to be said for like, you're given certain gifts, you're given the tools to accomplish something, and then just sitting around on them.
Ooh.
I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think there is a very fine balance of self-promotion and laziness, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you're in it, like you said, if you're in it, like, I want to get that blue check mark and I want to be, you know, on all the real big stages, and that's all I want my ministry to be, then then I think you're going to fail. But if it's like, I want to like just preach goodness and I want to represent that in an authentic way, I don't think there's anything wrong with putting yourself out there, especially if your service that you're offering the church is going to help someone to know Jesus better.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for
good.
1 second, you know?
Yeah.
So that's been the biggest thing for me. Like, I feel like the past couple weeks since the summit, I've been less ashamed of saying like I'm a Catholic speaker. Like I even changed my Instagram.
That's the
description.
first step.
Like
That's the first
there
step.
it is. Like,
Catholic speaker.
name it, claim
first
it.
step.
Because before it's like, ooh, those are bad words.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
say those. So
Yeah.
that's been the biggest thing for me. Is like, don't be like, if you have that charism of teaching, like
Use it.
use it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I think there's a lot of people that out there, or people, we need good speakers out there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we need people who have those charisms
Yeah.
out there. Like, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like, I mean, I'm sure y'all probably agree, but like one of my biggest pet peeves is, and like I've had a couple of my youth students say this, like, I really want to be a big Catholic speaker. And that's kind of their step one. And I'm like, there's many steps
Yeah.
before that. Like,
Yeah.
if you feel led to that type of ministry, like parishes need you. Like,
Yeah.
you know, retreat ministry and conference ministry is beautiful, but if you feel called to that, like there are steps before that, and like you might never leave those steps.
Yeah.
And I'm there, and I would be perfectly happy never leaving those steps.
Yeah, I think a lot about this whole. I mean, obviously, I'm very internally conflicted about this whole, you know, naming what it is that I'm doing with all of this, like this, you know, this like hobby stuff, and it's the same thing with, you know, being a Catholic speaker or being a creative or whatever. I think there needs to be like an internal security of, like Catholic speaker for a lot of people is being a Steubenville speaker in front of thousands of people. But what it actually is speaking to someone else in a way that like
using your words.
using your words in a way that inspires them. And I think like if you're trying to ask yourself, do I have what it takes to be a Steubenville speaker or just like a Catholic speaker? I think you just have to ask yourself, like, if you weren't going to be paid and if it was just for 3 people, would you do it? And would you love doing it?
Yeah.
And it was like yesterday we were talking with Connor Flanagan about, you know, like musician goes around, does these concerts. And he was like, dude, honestly, if it's 5,000 people or 5 people, like, I just love it. And it's kind of like how I feel about a lot of this stuff. And after the summit, I was like, man, I just like doing this. And like Connor said, he's like, man, we've made it. We get to do this in front of people. Like we've made it.
Yeah.
We're podcast. Like
Yeah.
for me, it's like I'm podcasting.
Yeah.
Like as long as I have the equipment, I've made it. And so I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, whether it's 5 people listening or 5,000 people listening. Like this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with speaking. It's like if you get in front of 3 people and you just love speaking the gospel,
Yeah.
then like follow that and just keep
Right.
doing that. And don't be ashamed to tell people that you do that, or don't be ashamed to take opportunities to get in front of people and just talk about God, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that really
Nick-
killed
Nick-
the conversation.
Well, Nick picked up his.
Thanks for
I know
that.
Nick is about to say something whenever you pick up your mic, because usually I'm sitting there. And then you pick
Yeah,
up your
to do
mic.
it.
So Nick's about to say something. everyone.
For the Creative Summit, I almost didn't want to go because I knew that I would want to like, or just be tempted into quitting my job or something like that.
Just running away and
And,
being
you know,
a creative forever.
Yeah.
What was like, I guess, being invested in other things, like, what was really identifiable for me leaving that was, I think I really like just working with my hands. So whether it be woodworking or something like that, seeing the immediate fruits of something is something that I think I need, you know, just as a person or creative, if that's how we're talking.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes really, really hard to see in ministry.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you'll never, ever see the fruits of it at all. And you just, you know, just let go, you know, just
Just let go and let God.
you know,
Sure.
exactly, you know, and man, that's almost like not good enough for me. Like, you know,
Yeah.
because I feel like I'm very externally stimulate it.
Yeah.
Is that?
You're very this.
That's a
Does
thing.
it sound like words?
Yeah, I guess so. And so I don't know whether it's working on like a furniture piece or something like that. Like I don't know, it just does something for
Yeah.
me. And so I think I've transitioned from, instead of just doing, or especially this group too, instead of just doing hobbies, like it's been more identifiable that this is something that that is coming just, you know, like from me, from deep inside of me, that is being communicated into something external. And so bringing this kind of group together is helping me, I don't know, just be more on top of that, rather than just, it's not just something that's on the side or something that I do that other people know about it, and people are seeing me more in the things that I'm creating.
Doing. Yeah.
Does that make
yeah,
sense?
Yeah. How do you guys think about the business side of stuff too? Like, does the business side of things excite you, or is it really hard? Because I know, Allie, it's kind of hard for you.
It's so hard for
But like
me.
Johnny, you've started a production company. Like the business, like you seem prone to entrepreneur tendencies. Like, when you guys think about, well, I'm creating something, but I'm also, like we talking about, you want to create something that ideally you would be able to live off of, like that you would make something off of. So how are you guys processing that? Because especially at the summit, I was realizing, like, man, there are a lot of people here that live full time. I'm just doing this in my spare time. Like, in some ways I have the benefit of not caring if it makes money, but there's pros and cons to that too, because I could be putting more time into it.
Right.
Maybe if I was trying to do it full time.
I've always kind of thrived under deadlines, and there we are. How's this? Is this
You're very tiny.
This is very nice.
There you
You're
go.
very tiny.
Yeah, I should know better mic technique than this. This is
You know,
You
I'm
are
just
like
helping
speaking
on
of
your business
production
side.
coordinator.
The production person
Okay.
here.
Here we go.
Just help
Proper
me
mic
out.
technique. You should not hold from the cable. It should be purely from the microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Here we go.
There you
this
go.
is good.
There we go.
This is a
Uh,
comedian hold down here. A lot
yeah.
of comedians.
Yeah.
This is also
So you
kind
can
of
go like this,
the artsy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can't.
That's
say
a
that.
rapper.
This is like dropping something.
That's you're
you
about
know,
to, and your
about to
hat is
get-
backwards.
That's gonna be
Guys,
bass
this is a
heavy.
visual podcast.
And that's
You can watch the visuals at youtube.com/.
yeah. You're gonna want to see this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like a
Oh.
fighter ring. WWF,
Perfect.
WWE.
Fake
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
dancer
Yeah,
mic.
yeah.
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 Also that.
Well, you don't know what that is.
Nice. I know exactly what that is.
What is it?
It's the condenser
Shout out to
mic
Bruce
that's
Buffer
fake.
from UFC. Is that his name? Bruce Buffer? What's that guy's
Bruce
name?
Banner.
Okay. All right, Johnny, you were saying.
Yeah, I was.
Production.
Oh yes. I've always really thrived under like deadlines and just kind of rules. I guess I'm just kind of a rule follower, and so I think I kind of enjoy that. Do I exceed in it? No, but I don't. It doesn't like bring me. It doesn't bring me less joy in what I'm doing and what I'm creating.
Do you get excited about the business side of things?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
What I don't get excited about is the marketing side of things. I'm
Okay.
very bad at that. But I
Like
do
self-promotion?
self-promotion, and I mean, I really do enjoy the business side of things, though. And like you said, like my poor wife like has to hear me once a month. I'm like, new business idea. This like it's gonna pay for itself. We're gonna be rich. Like, so I feel bad, but I do really get excited about that, and like I love to like build things from nothing, and then if they're successful, great, and if not, it's like whatever. I'll just
Yeah.
throw it
What
away.
are some examples of things that you've tried to...
The production company, great
Yeah.
example. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still going, but like we've been going for like 4 years now, and it's we haven't really grown from year one to like.
Explain to people who don't know what a production company...
Basically, we go and we supply sound, lights, and projection for mainly just ministry events, and we help them, especially if they don't know maybe what they want, maybe what would appeal to their audience, and we go and we just kind of handle all of that for them. And
So you're not just doing the bare minimum. You're like, hey, let's throw a fog machine and
Yeah.
like a hologram of...
and we try to, I mean, like we've done like some of like the transformations we've seen is like retreats that like, hey, we make a songbook each week and we turn on the can lights in this gymnasium, and it's like, okay, cool, let's get 16-foot projector screens and project the lyrics, and we're gonna bring a couple hazers and some moving lights, and they're like, why? And it's like, teenagers like that.
Yeah.
They do. So I mean,
Teenagers love hazers.
but a big part of it too was like just kind of this like I was just appalled at what secular production companies charge. And so kind of pride ourselves on providing
You're lean.
top of the line production for a price that isn't going to make ministry say no.
Yeah.
But that, I wouldn't say it's failed, but it hasn't. That was a great example of not setting very good intentional goals. Like a conversation I think the four of us had a couple months ago that has like really, I don't know if I've told any of you this.
Tell
But
us
something
now.
like has
Tell us
really
right now.
has transformed the way I do everything. Has been like, how do you measure success on what is you're doing? You asked us that about like an event we were talking about. How are we going to measure success on this? And for me, that has been like a huge game changer. It's like, okay, well, if you're gonna go for something, before you do it, sit down and write like, this will be successful if these things happen.
Yeah.
If not, it's not successful.
Yeah.
So the production company hasn't failed. We're not in debt or anything. But would I say it's successful? No.
Yeah.
Because and also I didn't really set goals for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a huge part. If you do have any interest in the business side of things, setting goals for yourself that are tangible and accountable, like you can have people hold you accountable.
I think that's really good because I think that's my biggest problem. I think my hobbies are things that I like to do. Like I can easily just walk away from it whenever I want to.
Mm.
So like Sunday Psalm, for instance, I think I could have pushed that to be something bigger than what it was.
Yeah.
And I've just abandoned it for the last year, and people like the analytics are still there because all that stuff is just logged, but I didn't set any goals. There were no parameters, and I didn't really just push myself to say it's going to become this. And so just whenever something else came, or I transitioned jobs, and then there was a lot more demanded out of me. And so then I just kind of left it. And so I didn't really bring any other people like on board to really help me. It was all just me. And like, I'm always kind of worried about like either just woodworking or anything else. Like, you know, I'm just not really telling anybody else about this, or really just pushing or putting myself out there. Here's how much I charge. Like, Johnny, you know how bad I am about like pricing, like my work. Like, and
John's
ultimately,
like, oh,
I'm
yeah.
just like, if somebody just really wants something, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it for you because I want them to have it. You know,
the same way.
and
She sucks at asking for money.
Oh my god,
Johnny's helped me a lot, but even for speaking in music, I would say those are two things that I didn't really pursue. They became things that just people just kept asking, and I just kept doing.
Yeah.
And so right there, like I've got no parameters there, like no expectations for myself, which probably isn't the best thing for the actual output of said ministry. And so I think I just need to buckle down and actually just like commit to it, because I think back to the very first question, like what am I looking for in this group is I don't know if that was the question, but
He's
like
gonna make
it
it
is
the
now.
question.
Yeah, it is now. Like,
Back to the question, what's my biggest fear? My biggest fear actually is
I think you three, something that I it's a holy envy from you three, is that it seems like you do have a craft that you just are aware of and that you've just honed in on and that you're going after it.
oh shit, I don't know what mine is.
And I don't think, and
We're
I
gonna
don't,
find it.
Jeez.
and I don't think I have that.
I don't feel that way. I don't think I have mine either. I wish I knew, like, man, doodling is like so my thing, right? Like I'm very envious of Allie because she's like, she has
you
her
go
thing.
around and tell us what each of ours
Yeah,
are?
can you tell us what our thing is?
I don't know what
What's
mine
our
is.
thing?
Well, that Allie's definitely like the creative lettering,
Doodle
like,
with
Got
her
it.
hand.
Doodle.
Like, I've
Hand,
purchased
left
things
hand.
from you. You've
Poodles
like
and noodles.
Poodles and
there are
noodles.
designs in my children's rooms that you have done,
That's
like
so
you know,
fun.
and that's great.
Yeah.
Like you were manifested in my house. Johnny easily like the music type of stuff. Like
Oh,
for
for
any
sure.
drumming thing or any music thing, like I've always texted you first. Like you were my go-to first. Like, the one of the best things that you told me, which is like a couple days ago, is you said, "Do not be like humble in the music world because it will eat you up and spit you out."
It's true, man.
And
Wait,
like,
don't
man,
be humble? What does that mean?
yeah. So
in
if
the
He's
secular
the
music,
best.
Sure. And so, like, we were talking about drumming. I was talking about possibly doing this country band type of thing. I haven't played drums consistently since high school, and I still have everything, but I'm being really meek at the set.
So, like, just go hard.
pretty much.
Okay,
or
okay,
just
gotcha.
think of yourself as like
The best.
I got.
spin
Yeah,
those
I got.
sticks.
You need the confidence. You need the confidence
Yeah.
in the music world to be like,
oh yeah,
I'm gonna nail this.
And for Edmund, I know you like the best out of everyone here at the table, probably even myself. I don't know.
Probably.
But what I'll say about you, Edmund, is that I believe that you can do absolutely anything that you want.
Yeah, so there isn't
Seriously,
a one
yeah.
thing though, but there's still. But I feel like I don't have like a one thing, right?
Well,
You-
podcasting.
do you agree?
I think.
You're a straight content machine.
Yeah.
Content.
I will
machine.
say that.
Oh,
Content
awesome.
machine. Straight
Yeah.
content machine.
I'm a content machine.
Something. I told you this when we worked together that you can receive like a document from someone and you can tell instantly if it all makes sense or not. Like about like this upcoming retreat
should
or just
monetize
something that,
You should.
or something that's going
Consultant.
to be promoted or
Yeah.
even just like a small like guidelines book for something else. Like you're like, well, this doesn't make sense. It should be here. And you're just very good at evaluating it all.
And
Seriously,
touching
you should be
things.
like a product like reviewer
Yeah.
or
like
something
quality
like that.
control, kind of.
No,
like,
no. Seriously, I think you are a content machine, and whatever you wanted to do and start, it would be wildly successful.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Why were we talking about this?
Because I don't have a craft. I'm not a
Well,
master at
I-
some kind of craft.
I don't feel like I have a craft either. And, you know, and I think
That's
part
why we're together.
That's why we're together.
We're gonna master it together.
we're just going to be generally creative.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's part of what's fun about it is just not being so precious about what the one thing is. Like if Allie starts a podcast, I mean, it's
about woodworking.
Well, I mean, if you start a
Doing
pod, if you
Doing
start
it.
a
Nate
pod,
claiming it right now. I'm going to start a podcast on woodworking
we
and
do
drumming.
have a video idea about this, right?
Oh yes,
We
yeah.
will not disclose.
okay,
No,
don't
stay tuned.
But I'm just saying, like, you're into the doodling.
I am into it.
But if
Big
you
fan.
start a podcast, like who cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I am so for you starting a podcast or starting a YouTube channel or starting. I think part of what's fun about whatever we want to call this thing we're doing is that you're not precious about what the one thing is. You might have your one thing that you want to hone and get really good at.
Yeah.
If it's woodworking or music or drumming or whatever, if you have your craft that you want to get really good at. But I think what's also really fun about it is not being precious and saying like, oh, well, crap, like let's just start a YouTube channel or let's just start a thing and just see where it goes. All right. Well, are you guys ready for the next segment? Are you ready for the surprise segment?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
find out.
Okay, here we
Yeah.
go. Here comes the sound effect for the surprise segment. So should it be every time we all get together? Should it be a challenge or should it be like a surprise? Like moving forward, should it be like challenge segment or surprise?
Challenge, like it's a surprise challenge.
There
Like
we go.
you're
Or
going
a
to challenge
surprise.
us right now.
Well, I'm just saying it could be
Yeah.
it could be anything. Like it could be surprise segment, surprise.
Let's arm wrestle.
We see
or
all of the above.
well, no, that's a challenge.
Okay, that's a challenge. Okay,
But
That's
should it
the-
be, or should every time we get together, there's a challenge? Because this thing that I'm about to bring out, it could be a challenge or it could just be a surprise.
Well, right now it's both because we. Don't
I know,
what it is.
but I'm just
Oh,
saying
okay.
moving
This is getting-
forward, we're branding
Um,
this. Should it be like creative challenge?
Maybe each time one of us could bring a surprise.
Yeah, a surprise or a challenge.
Yeah.
Like a
No,
present?
don't say yeah.
Oh,
no,
I'm
a surprise
confused.
or a challenge. Should it be a surprise or should it be a challenge?
Both.
If it's a surprise, it's a lot less.
So it's a challenge you're going to tell us beforehand.
If it's a challenge, then it's like we have to do this. If it's a surprise, it's just like whoa, surprise.
Challenge, like you have to do this here in the moment, or like you have like a month. to
That's
do
what I'm
this?
asking.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking.
I like the surprise challenge. Yes.
Okay, here we go.
I'm not
ready?
exactly sure what the difference is.
We got nowhere.
He opened the drawer.
Discussion.
Okay, here we go.
Scary.
So these are surprises, and then this
terrified.
will turn into a challenge.
Ew, do they have bugs in them? They
Okay,
have
so
dead bugs in them.
pick your white stick. There you go.
Ew! Oh my gosh, I knew it. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Oh, I don't want the surprise.
Okay,
or the
so
challenge.
describe
gosh.
I don't want
describe for the
this.
people at home.
It's purple.
Describe for the people at home
disgusting.
what we're
But
opening up.
the-
here.
This is a
the
cricket
thing in the
sucker.
middle is
Mine's
not.
scorpion.
Mine's a
Oh,
cricket.
it's a cricket.
I have
Mine's a cricket.
scorpion.
Okay, describe
Mine's
for people at home
poison
what
in
you're
it.
talking about. people that are listening
Okay.
online and can't
There's
see
a
this.
scorpion
There's a
in this.
Dead. I mean, I hope it's
No,
dead.
describe it to people
Okay,
that
it's
can't
a sucker, and it has
It's a sucker.
dead bugs in it.
His
Brown.
name is Henry.
Mine
There's
has a
legs.
cricket. Johnny has
Actually,
a scorpion. He could
I
die.
feel like mine's
Mine
the
is like
worst.
more carcass than
Nick,
anything.
what is
like
yours?
it's missing a
Yours.
ton of
What
legs.
is it?
It's a cricket.
Oh, gross. What is
Okay,
yours?
so everyone open yours up. I think mine is.
Yeah, mine's totally open.
Mine's
Do
a
we have
cricket.
to-
Mine's strawberry cricket.
Mine's totally. You're the only
Okay.
one that has this.
You got
Why
a
did I-
scorpion?
Wait, does
Dude,
he
that's
win? Does
gonna
Johnny win? 'Cause
scratch
he's
going
the
down.
only one.
Okay, now look, it's a sucker, so you're not going to get bug for a while. So you can suck on it for a while. You're not going to get the bug for a
Is
while.
this the surprise or the challenge?
Well, so that's why I asked you.
Well, because I
It
want
could have
the
either been a
opposite of
surprise
this.
or it could have just been a challenge. But you said surprise challenge, so now it is turned into a challenge. So the challenge, I guess, is to
I
eat
can't
this.
open it. I'm too weak.
No, I'll help you.
I'll
Here,
take it.
here you go.
Ellie, do you want to trade?
No.
Mine's really good.
I do
So you guys,
not want
do you guys know where I
scorpion.
found these?
Gas
At the
station.
gas station.
Oh.
They sell these at the gas station.
I've seen them there. We must go to the
It's
same
too
gas
hard. No
station.
one can open it.
There you
That,
go.
dang it.
What is yours? Is yours a
Mine's
cricket,
a cricket.
Oh my
Cricket
gosh.
sucker.
This is like a real
That's-
scorpion in there.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Guys,
Am
can
I
we
gonna
cheers
die?
it? Can we
Cheers.
cheers it?
Hold
Wait, let's show the camera
Cheers.
your Okay, those of
Yeah.
you listening, you got to go to YouTube to find this.
That's, oh my gosh.
There's an actual scorpion in there, I
I'm
think.
gonna die.
I'm gonna.
Is it actually a
document
scorpion?
this.
I don't see the pointy part.
That has to be a
Hang on, let me see
Well,
yours.
That's a scorpion.
once it's dead though, it's not like.
Okay, guys. So, what is your first reaction to this? Like, what are you
Um,
thinking about this? Are you thinking you can do this, or
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's
Amen.
what
Lord,
it
you
says.
said that in Matthew.
Lord.
Matthew 18. I just want to let you know, Lord, you said that.
In the words of my friend Nick Gutierrez.
This is what we're doing on the
how big is
podcast
your
right
God?
here.
God,
these
you
are-
said, draw near to me, and
these
I
are-
will draw near to you. That's
these
what
are
you
These
said.
bugs
This
and
is
Oh,
a scorpion
wow.
lollipops here.
in my
There it is.
lollipop.
We're all like.
Cricket.
Why am I
Doing
doing
this.
this?
We're
We're
all
such
Instagramming
millennials
this.
Guys,
right now.
hold on.
We're
Hold on.
We're all
all-
Instagramming this.
Hold on.
For those of you watching at home, you're like, why am I watching people just on their phones?
Why am I doing
That's
That's what happens at the
this?
podcast
That's
here.
a cricket
I don't want. Do you have a
in
scorpion?
my
It's
sucker.
a scorpion.
Yeah, yours is way.
Okay,
worse.
ready? We're going to cheers this and we're going to put it in our mouth, okay? And then we're just going to keep podcasting.
Oh my.
And we'll just wait until.
Okay.
Somebody
Cheers.
starts crying.
Cheers.
Yeah, until
cheers,
someone
cheers,
eats
cheers,
something.
cheers. Okay, here he goes.
Huzzah.
Down the hatch. Ah. Ow.
These are not even good suckers.
Yeah, they're not. Which is perfect for podcasting. You have a huge lollipop in your mouth.
Ugh.
This is terrible. I'm afraid.
Do you guys think that these are prop like gag candies, or do you think there are people that actually buy these and love this?
This is prop.
You know, I know
This is
they
prop
eat
candy.
crickets in some countries.
But the scorpion one,
But
That's
not
a
in
little
America.
iffy.
But the
Not in
scorpion one's a
America.
Not one of
little
those
iffy.
countries.
This is not one of those countries. Donald Trump is president, Allie.
Okay, so
Why
it's
would
not
he
even
allow
that good
this?
of a. Okay,
it's not even a good sucker.
so let's just keep talking about our other important topics.
This is now an ASMR. Is that what that is, right?
Really
ASMR.
afraid.
you love the ASMR
I
stuff.
think it's fascinating.
Is somebody
Oh
committed
gosh,
to
mine.
is-
My cricket head is right
Yeah.
poking
Yeah.
out the top. It's poking out the
Mine's
top.
really close though.
Ugh.
Oh,
I'm gonna just lick the sides.
I think I'm done.
You're done
Or
already.
Yeah, I'll lick the bottom. 'Cause my
You're not gonna
cricket's-
lick yours
I've got
all?
a scorpion.
My
arm
cricket looks like
right
it's
there.
like
Wait,
on
you
the
don't
top
have
of
a
the
cricket?
straw.
Wait,
That's,
what?
that's
you
definitely
have
a
a
cricket.
cricket?
Oh dang! I thought I got a maggot.
Oh,
but
your cricket's
Wow.
way up there.
one of them was
Yeah.
like a. One of them was
Look
like
at
a
that.
worm.
It's like kind of open.
Okay.
Don't lick
No,
the top.
I'll go right here.
There you go.
I'm gonna lick his head. Right. Watch.
Is it really sticking up?
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's so gross.
Okay. Well,
I'm done
so-
with this.
That's enough
This
for that
has been
segment.
really good.
Right.
this has been,
This has been
lollipop
fantastic.
This has been. Yep.
bugs. See, okay, so if we don't end up eating it, then it's not a challenge. It's just a surprise.
oh, I like
or,
the surprise.
You know what I'm
then.
saying?
Or I just lost the challenge, which I'm cool with.
Yeah, this is not.
Okay. Well,
What'd you do, man?
that worked out great. That's exactly
I think that's yours. You
what
done
the
as
youth
well?
minister in me
Yeah.
wanted to
Best
happen.
dollar. Best dollar.
It's down.
This is a good thing.
Wasn't
for
this
youth
good?
Ministry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it was
was
a good
great.
surprise. Oh, we're all
Didn't you buy a bunch of these for youth group one
No.
time? Oh, okay.
This would be
Never.
a good idea. I
This
actually.
was good.
What gas
Save
station?
yours. Look.
The one over by
Who's gonna-
Subway.
I think a lot of
Northwestern.
gas stations
That's nice.
sell 'em.
Because this would be a good youth group game.
Yeah, for sure.
First
for
one
sure.
to finish the bug.
Gets like,
When-
but you have to have a good prize.
and then you get sued. Like the parish.
You wouldn't
That's
get sued.
the prize.
No, Tim, shout out to Tim, our youth minister at our parish.
Hey.
he did this game, or was it you? No, it was Tim. He did a game where you had to see how far you could spit a cricket. So you put a cricket in your
That's
mouth and
awesome.
you
Live?
spit
Dead.
it, and then it would go in the air, and then it would flail its wings and then like fly.
Wait, so it was alive.
It was a
Yes,
lot.
live cricket. So you put it in your mouth and you go, pooh, and then it would kind of help you and fly a little ways.
Is this something that you learn at Franciscan?
I don't know. That's
Oh
Tim
my
got it. I don't know where Tim got it
Oh,
from.
wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep eating this.
How did it
lollipop.
go? How did the game go?
Apparently, it went very well.
Wow.
Who were the kids that did it? Don't say their names.
I don't know. Yeah,
Just
I don't know.
communicate
3 out
with
of
your
4.
eyes.
Who were they?
3 out
No, I
of
don't
4
know.
are dead now.
I don't know. Okay, well, is that it? Do we
Oh,
have anything
man.
else to talk about?
Well, what was your list?
Let's see what our list is.
So we're talking about Catholic creatives.
Being Catholic creative,
It's
crowdfunding.
great that we're together doing it as a group.
Oh yeah. So
like community.
So what we're gonna try to do as a group?
Makerspace.
Yes, we're gonna have a makerspace, but
Makerspace.
we're gonna do our own things, but we're also going to come together and encourage each other and document this journey of us trying to do stuff.
Being in each other's stuff.
Of us trying to just
meddle in each other's stuff.
Here's another segment.
Dun-dun.
I was about to say
Dun-dun.
but I was-
This is a segment called
This is nice.
This is a segment called Nick Explains.
All right.
All right, so Nick explains some technology, some like recent technological advancement for
Good.
modern people. So, Nick, if you could please explain what a popcorn sensor is in a microphone
Right.
or a microwave.
In a
In a microwave, how does the popcorn sensor when like you can click the popcorn button
How
and it will
does it
automatically
know?
it will automatically pop the bag to the perfect popcorn like level.
I mean, that's not the case for every
That's
microwave.
not.
I just
no.
always
you
say
know
30
you know
seconds.
best.
Yeah.
Nick knows best.
Well, I mean, for
Always
my
burn my
microwave, I'll
popcorn.
hit that button because for some reason I'm just trusting that the
You
engineers
know.
or whatever had
Yeah.
preset that it should be at this wattage and
Yeah.
go for this time. But then it's all like relative to
Never
the
works.
bag, how small the bag is.
So it's not just
Yeah.
is it Orville Redenbacher?
so it's not just like a minute 30 every time you hit the popcorn sensor. It does change.
I
right?
think
yeah.
well. Yeah, case by case. I think you need to stand there for
Yep.
maybe the first
Yeah.
4 bags that you pop.
Yep.
You need to stand there and then evaluate it. Right now, for my microwave,
Yeah.
I'll hit the popcorn button, hit start, and then I will remove it once it gets down to the 5 to 10 second range. But then also I'll measure it by, do I hear more popping?
Wait. Okay, so when you
that,
hit
that is
Call.
the clutch
when you
call.
hit the
Audio.
popcorn button on your
Yep.
microwave, it
Yep.
comes up with a time.
Or the
yes.
last few seconds.
So mine doesn't. When I hit
Time.
popcorn sensor or when I hit popcorn, it just microwaves it and it shows no time.
not
so
even when it's like
You don't
5
even have
seconds left.
no, I
Oh,
think it
there's
just
no
does,
countdown.
I think it knows
Oh.
how much popping is going on.
It knows.
Have you had popcorn issues?
It has a
lately?
pop meter
it's always
somewhere
perfect.
in there. It's counting the
seriously.
pops.
That's what I was. That's why I
Wait,
wanted to
really?
ask you.
I don't think so.
That's why I
No.
wanted to
Oh,
ask you
you
about
said
this.
that very confidently.
So
Because
wait,
I always burn popcorn. This is a real issue, guys.
do you have a popcorn button?
Yes, and it never works. I house sit.
Does yours work?
My popcorn button?
Wait, you house it. Can we go
I
back
house
to that?
sit.
Okay.
So I watch a house and dogs, and I try to use their popcorn on the popcorn button on the microwave, and it never works.
Okay.
And then that burnt popcorn smell, which is the
You're
worst.
not- are you standing next to the microwave?
Occasionally, yeah.
Do you have a
Never
metal
leave
plate?
it
Is your
side.
face like
Never leave it side.
like
I'm
really close to the
inside
door?
the
Because that's what you
microwave.
need to do. You need to get your eyes really
And, like,
close to
just
the microwave door.
listen?
Yeah, and look at the bag as close as
Because
you
it's either
can.
under popped or over popped.
But
and
Is there
burnt.
an interior light on
Yeah.
the microwave? It's very important.
If you can somehow
I'll get
open the
back
door but
to
have
you
it
on
keep
that
running
one.
at the same
Yeah,
time, that's
yeah.
the
Okay.
best way
Okay.
to actually
Wait, but
tell
guys,
if your
Allie has a
popcorn's
metal
getting burnt.
plate in her head, which might be interfering with.
No,
the-
that's on my
No, that
knee.
helps.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my knee.
Okay.
Yeah.
yes.
Why do you have
Indeed.
metal in your knee?
Do you really?
It's personal. I don't want to talk about it.
All
Okay.
right.
All right.
talk about
Moving
it.
on to the next segment. This has been Nick Explains Technology.
Now you do the beatboxing.
I got nothing else unless you guys have something. I just wanted to have you guys all on, and I'm excited for this journey to begin, for us to be creating stuff together, making stuff,
Yeah.
doodling.
Can we
do a YouTube video where
piggyback-
Allie teaches us how to doodle?
That would be so fun if I do that one of
Do you
these
have
days.
to have good crafts?
No.
Like, what's the pensmanship? to
I
be a
mean, you will
doodler.
get there eventually if you practice every day. I'm a firm believer. Everyone is saying, here's my thing, guys.
Give us
Everyone's
your
saying,
thing.
I have horrible handwriting. I can never do it. I'm like, well, yeah, if you've never practiced like intentionally, then no, you're not going to get better at anything.
Yeah.
Anything in your life.
Nothing.
No.
That's true.
But also, if you're comparing your penmanship to mine, then it's going to look different because I've been doing this for 4 years. But if you just like compare it to yourself and you just keep doing, you will get better with anything. If you practice anything, you will get better.
I like that. You
I
heard it
played
here
golf
first.
for a long time. I'm still very bad.
Compared to who though? To Tiger Woods?
Everybody.
Probably.
Everybody.
Don't compare yourself, Johnny.
Yeah, don't compare
Don't
yourself.
compare yourself.
How many followers do you have? That's all that matters.
9,000.
On golf?
9,000.
No one follows.
So
you
we're
on
gonna
golf?
make this like a regular thing, right? Like podcasting, YouTube videos. Like we're gonna start doing that more, right?
We can have like different projects that we're working on.
Yep. But every now and then we're gonna come together and just kind of how are things?
Yeah, yeah,
like
exactly.
an update. Like how are things? How are things go? So
Both hobby and like intentional business stuff.
yeah, and that's kind of going to be the common theme is that there are some things that we're trying to do that we do have a business aspect to.
Yeah.
That we're trying to grow in some way, shape, or form. Right.
Do you
For
guys
sure.
ever struggle? I mean, I don't.
All the time.
I was thinking about this today.
He does.
Yeah, all the time. Do you ever struggle to not have, to have unprofessional goals? Meaning, like, you want to accomplish something just for the sake of like
Man, I nailed it.
this. Yeah, like I just want to do this creative thing. Like
Just do it for you.
every time I do something that I enjoy for like a consistent basis, like a year or so, I don't think of it as a like recreational hobby anymore. Is that just me? It's probably just me. That was a dumb question.
I don't
Wait,
know.
wait, no.
I,
So
I
you-
feel like that's all I do. That I just do it for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's the opposite. For me, the second there's something where I'm like, ooh, this is like fun and consistent, and I can keep doing it, whatever it may be.
You like there's a shift in your mind or something?
It's like, yeah, oh, this should be a
business.
professional, like a business. Yeah. Like, and
Oh.
it's kind of going back to that, just like,
It could be the entrepreneur in you that's like,
Yeah. And that's
all right,
not a
let's
bad
make
thing.
this make money.
and my wife, who's like very good at bringing me back to earth, is like,
Grounded.
no one wants to
That's
pay
like
for that.
my parents. My dad, entrepreneur. My mom's like, well, let's think about this.
Yeah.
That's great.
So it's been hard for you, Allie, to be business minded with your
Oh
stuff.
my gosh, yes. I think it's because when I started Oods of Dudes, it was just purely. Sorry, when I started the Oodles of Doodles, it's just too long.
Yeah.
You just shorten it
Yeah.
to Oods of Dudes. When I
think you're
started,
giving people
it was
a false impression of what it is that
Yep.
you do.
It. So I.
Allie runs an escort
Hands
service.
no,
Allie runs a male escort
cut
service.
that out.
Yeah, it's
cut that out.
It's like
Oods
oods
of
is like
dudes.
a
Cut that out.
quantity kind of
Oods
number.
of dudes.
It's like
My brother
Oods of
actually, when I
dudes.
told him Oods of Dudes, he actually thought that, and I will not say on this podcast what else he thought. But
I saw a Vice
Those other things.
video that was like a segment on male, like you can hire a date. Like you can hire a guy and go on a date with them.
I saw that.
It's like $4,500 to go on a
just
date.
one date.
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of like borderline male escort, but it's you just go on a date with this guy.
wow.
They have like
Wow.
60 guys in this agency. Yeah,
Wow.
link it up.
We're in the wrong profession.
somebody should.
Somebody link
Somebody
that
put
up.
in the put that in the show notes.
Okay, Allie, you were talking about
well,
running
when it just
a
started, it was
escort
purely just it was just I wanted to do a New Year's resolution, so it was just fun. And now 4 years later, when I'm like, oh, I actually could make this in a business. My mind is I just want to create, and so it's a struggle for me to be more intentional in the business side of things.
Yeah.
Because that's not what I went into it with.
Right.
And now that I'm like, oh, it's like almost playing like catch up of making
for,
this.
and for a lot of people that's a bad
stuff.
word. Like you start talking about business and it's kind of like saying I want to be a Catholic speaker. It's like
Right.
if you start saying I want to sell art, for a lot of people it's like, oh well, then you're not an artist anymore, then you're just making stuff for consumers. And
that's what I'm struggling with too, is like we're such a consumer society, which that's what that is. And so I don't want to be making just like people who just continue to buy. Like I want it to actually move people to a relationship with Jesus, or like that's like things. And there's certain things that I do in my business now that my selling of art helps fund these just pure evangelization things.
yeah,
So it's just that balance of like, I was talking to Michelle Benzinger, actually. Shout out Michelle Benzinger. Great Catholic woman. has a podcast, Abiding Together.
Mhm.
And she was saying, like, are we making consumers or are we making disciples? And, like, what is that line of created goods and how's that?
Mm.
And that's what I struggle with. And I know not everyone has to think that or should, but that's what I've been thinking of. Like, I just don't want people just to keep consuming. But if it's moving people closer to a relationship with Jesus, then shoot, I'm all about that.
I think we just get for me, the shift before I had ever sold something to after selling something was a real shift for me to just realize that there are people out there that really value what I do
Yeah.
and want to
Yeah.
give money, like want to say, hey, I value this thing that you did. And it really also shifted the way that I approached the way I consume and buy things. Is like I started realizing, wow, when I'm buying this thing, I'm telling this person,
Yeah.
I value what you're doing. Like I value you. Like I value this. And I think before I was much more, I mean, when I was consuming, I was much more like a passive consumer. Like, oh, I'm just buying these things. And I think after selling the first whatever it was, I realized much more that when I buy something, that there's a lot more responsibility to be supporting people that I actually care about. Like I started thinking a lot more about, okay, what are the things that we're purchasing? Could this go to someone, to an individual instead of a large company? Could this go to someone whose art I want to support, as opposed to just like, oh, I just found this on Amazon.
So you're saying you're going to buy exclusively from the Oodles of Doodles?
Yeah.
You heard it here
That's what he's
first,
saying,
people.
yeah.
I want to buy a dude
Here we
from
go.
the
You
dudes.
want to buy? I have
want
loads of
I
dudes.
want one of the
$100.
dudes. I want one of the dudes. I want a dude.
I want a dude.
You have oods of them.
I have oots of them.
It's me, Nick.
Well.
Or her eats.
You can get brown or white. You know, those are our.
Those are my options.
Those are our flavors.
Diversify.
You know, the other thing that I'm really excited is, or thinking about, excited about doing, since you mentioned like when you have an idea, don't tell everyone about it. I'm really,
But I have stipulations for that. But keep going.
I'm really excited about this idea of putting together an event. Like we've all done youth ministry type stuff.
Yeah.
And we've put on events. And I'm really excited about this weird idea of like, what would there are a few people I follow. One is Scott the Painter. He does these like mini liturgy type things. And they're like these multimedia events. And then you have Catholic Creative Summit, you have retreats and all these different things. And I think it'd be really cool to get a lineup of a few people that are really talented and do some type of event that has like a spoken word segment and like a doodling segment and like a talk segment and a podcast.
To like teach or just to showcase?
Just like some type of experience for 50 to 100 people in a small venue. That's like, here's this 4-hour thing where there's a talk and then there's this other segment and there's a performance and it's almost like a variety show type thing. I think something like that would be really interesting. So just to throw that out there.
Sign me up. I'll bring my oods of dudes.
I'll bring a
Nick
table
and
saw.
I will be
I'll
there.
be the- He'll bring the drums.
All right, how do we end this?
I'll
We're gonna
make
do
the
this
drums.
again, right? You guys are gonna come over again. We're gonna listen to the listener feedback. We thrive off of what people are gonna say about us.
So
because
That's not
we're
true.
dependent on
That's
that.
not true. That's not true.
So dependent.
whether
We're
you
just gonna
like us
keep
or hate
doing
us,
it.
we're gonna
That's
keep
what
doing it.
creativity
This
is
was
about.
fun.
If
Yeah.
people don't enjoy it.
Did
don't
you guys
Do it
like this?
harder.
Did you guys like this evening? This was great,
Yeah.
right? We should do this
Absolutely.
more.
Oh yeah, accountability.
Keep checking in.
Keep flaming that fire.
Okay.
Stoking the fire.
Flaming
Yep.
that fire.
Keep
Fanning the
flaming.
Fanning
flame.
the flame.
Flaming
All right, guys. Here we go.
Well, there's that.
To our creative.
To
There
our.
it is.
Yep.
Yay.
My
Where's your
scorpion's,
scorpion?
Like, poking
Where's your
out. I'm
scorpion?
just like not about to risk that.
No, but seriously, do any of you have any like final call to actions or final like shout out things that you want to tell people about? Johnny.
Well, Nick has a couple
Go check out
Nick-
oodsofdudes.com.
Nope.
for $4,500.
You can get nope.
This guy, right? I'm just kidding.
Does anyone have anything? No? Okay. This is your chance.
Wait, for
We
what
need,
again?
I don't know, just like a
Like call to
closing
action?
shout out. Yeah. Go follow Johnny on Instagram.
Johnny
At
underscore D
Nick Gutierrez.
underscore Phil.
Johnny, what are people going to see on your Instagram account if they follow you? What are you promising people that they're going to see?
Babies, drums,
Hmm.
That's it.
Okay, if you're into
great
babies
com-
and drums, or drums
Babies
with
playing
babies,
the drums.
or babies
Yeah.
playing
There
the
are a
drums.
couple of those. Yeah, babies
Okay.
with drums, drums with babies.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
Allie Hoffman, what do we got
Yeah.
down the pipe for you?
Check me out, the Oodles of Doodles. Also, my dad and I are starting a podcast called Big Ass Saints.
Okay,
Patreon.com.
this is the second. This is the second
Yeah.
podcast in a row, or no, not in a row, but this is the second podcast on my podcast where we've talked about your upcoming podcast.
So now it like. Remember when we talked about though that it's just like a lot of hype.
Yeah.
So I cannot hype this up enough.
you shouldn't have shared it if it was just an
I
idea.
shouldn't have. Yeah. So now it's a thing. Big Ass Saints, but look out for it. Coming
Okay,
soon.
all right, cool. Anyone else? Nick, check out Nick's Instagram.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Nicholas H. Gutierrez.
Mm.
You won't find any
Is it
pictures
is
of
it
me.
public now?
It is
It's
public
pra- oh,
now.
it's
as of,
public. Public
about an hour
knowledge.
ago.
Boom. All right, guys. Well, this was fun. We're just gonna end it. I'm really bad about ending these podcasts. I
No,
never
you're
know
doing
how to
great.
end it. I never know how
Let's
to end
let's
the podcast.
end in a song, guys.
Okay,
Sing?
let's end in that
Yeah.
song. Let's sing that
That
song.
we have to. Okay.
Here we go. Start us off.
Oh, say, can you see? I'm not taking off my hat, my hair. In the dawn's early light, what so proudly we come on, Johnny, hailed at the twilight's slash remix. To the beat, Johnny, you got it.
I feel the beat. You
You
haven't
feel
said
it?
it yet,
Do you
but I
feel
feel
it?
it.
Yeah, America,
There's a beat
we
in
love
there.
you. America, you're great. Red stripes, white stripes, and the stars. Red, white, and blue. America, we love you. Yeah.
All right.
1 inch mic drop.
Thank you.